I'm gonna have with you guys, man. One question I want to start off with today is, who's y'all guys' favorite player all time? Not just currently, all time and currently. Who's y'all's favorite player and why? Why is that your favorite player, and how did that person inspire you to, not just want to be great in a sport, but just be great in life? Um, yeah, man. Main topic I want to talk about today is free agency been crazy. A lot of things. Shams told us it was going to be crazier than the Luka trade. I don't think that has been true up to this point, but we were told it was going to be a crazy offseason in which, for the minor deals and the small things, it has been a big offseason, a lot of motion, a lot of movement. But the one big thing I want to talk about is, where does Kuminga end up? And not only how does it affect his career, his path, his journey, but how does it affect the Warriors in the future and what they're trying to do? I think personally that the Warriors, they drafted Kuminga because they were able to draft him, not necessarily having a plan and knowing what they wanted to do with the young talent. The Warriors have a history with doing that because they did it with James Wiseman. They had him and drafted him. They went to the finals and actually won it his rookie year. He got hurt, didn't even play. But they could never develop him because they were a team that were focused on winning right now. But, having a rookie and having to develop a rookie while trying to win championships at that time, it doesn't mesh well. It doesn't fit. So, with Kuminga, I never really liked the fit from day one because he's an up and down player, transition based player. And the Warriors, as much as they get in transition, as much as they, play in the open court, make a lot of passes up and advance the ball, they also have a lot of half court sets that end with the 3-point shot. And if you're on the court with the Warriors and you're not a 3-point shooter or you're not a threat from the 3-point line, it's hard to be on the floor with them. So with Kuminga, the fit was always unnatural. And I also felt that Steve Kerr never gave him a superior role to make his fit, easier than what it had to be. I think he always made him come in the offseason and earn it. Which like he should, but earn it in a way of where if you're not Steph, you're just like everybody else. If you're not Draymond, you're just like everybody else. And I think that he could have, put him in a higher of a pedestal and made him more comfortable, and that would have made him, fit well, and made the fit better. But that I just don't think that'll work, and I just don't think that that's something that he wants to do. I don't think he wants to continue to try to do that, and I also think Kuminga feels disrespected personally. I think with the Warriors playing other players over him in the playoffs, even though he's come back from injury, he's still better than some guys that play for the Warriors. I think with him not playing and being better than guys and not getting the minutes he deserves, that derailed his confidence. It derailed his emotional support towards the team. I honestly don't feel like every playoff game Kuminga was all in it because he knew he may or may not play when it should be a guarantee that he is going to play. So I think for Kuminga, it's just all about growth, going somewhere where you can go and fully play, be yourself, be in transition, have the ball in your hand, and just be the player you were supposed to be from day one. For the Warriors, I think how this affects them is it shows them from right now. One thing I think they've always known, it's hard to develop players over here. And if you don't naturally fit the system, then how are you going to be able to run with Steph? How are you going to be able to come off that screen and shoot, pick and pop, and you can't shoot? You're just a slasher, you're just a cutter, or you're just a downhill player, you're just a driver. So how is it going to affect, their team, and who should they look to get back? So, the main teams that I see that are in the running for Kuminga is the Suns, the Kings, and also I seen a little bit of smoke about what was the other team? Can't think of the other team currently, but I know the Suns and the Kings were the main two teams that were looking at getting Kuminga. And for the Warriors, what I would try to get back from the Suns is the main thing I would ask for is Dillon Brooks. I would ask for Dillon Brooks because he can hit the three. Maybe not super consistent, but he can hit the three. He can play defense. He's a hard-nosed guy, perimeter defender. That's what the Warriors need. So the main thing I would ask for would be Dillon Brooks, and also maybe a pick or Royce O'Neal off that team as well. Maybe get a Royce O'Neal for another perimeter defender, or another guy who can handle the ball a little bit, take the pressure off Steph. Like another guy who can, semi be in that Draymond role that they already have with Draymond. But yeah, I just I'm trying to think of the perfect fits, of the players for the Warriors to get. Earlier today, it was reported that the Kings offered Malik Monk for Jonathan Kuminga in the signing trade, and honestly, I feel like that's the perfect type of player for the Warriors. You get a up-tempo, superpower offensive guy who's coming in, take a lot of shots, hit the three, shoot a lot of threes, get to the rim, dunk on people, super athletic. So I think a player like that fits the Warriors, and I think the Warriors honestly should just stop having the ego in this and just allow him to go somewhere that he would like to be and can flourish. And I think the Warriors should just accept the fact that, you don't lose this deal, but yes, you got rid of a player that you did draft in the lottery, and you're not letting him go for nothing. But yes, he could be a superstar, and you could get the bad end of the stick by not having him on your team. But I think that's the risk that you take when you draft a guy and never make him 100% comfortable, and when the timeline of the team doesn't match the timeline of that player. So yeah, man, that's all really that I got for the Kuminga situation. I think the Warriors dug themselves in the hole. They could do way better to get themselves out of the hole depending on what they can get back. But I think they have to be realistic on what they can get back and just accept what they can at this moment. And, they just got to make moves outside of that. I keep seeing that, you have Al Horford. He's out there for him. I'm hearing people saying Gary Payton is going back. Anthony Melton is signing back. And that could be true, but I don't know about the Anthony Melton thing for sure. I think Gary Payton wants to be back there. He's from Oakland. That's where the Warriors originate. That's home to him. So I think he definitely wants to be back. Al Horford, apparently he was supposed to sign 2-3 weeks ago with the Warriors, but haven't because they're monitoring the Jonathan Kuminga situation. So hopefully for the Warriors, they can recoup. But sitting right here and sitting on your hands, not making no moves outside of just waiting on Jonathan Kuminga to pick a place to be traded, and if you like the package or not, I think that's crazy. I think when you got Steph Curry right now ending his career, Draymond, and you got Jimmy, you still have a decent to good nucleus. You got to capitalize on that nucleus as much as you can right now. But that's it right now, man.